Okay, hi guys. So this is finally the promised talking about the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery page where I got stuck and sort of fell off the wagon and haven't done any pages since. So first of all, I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I am not in my normal spot at my desk in my craft room, which is upstairs, because it's 97 degrees, very hot, and there's no AC in that room. I mean, it's not 97 in there, but it is hot, and there's lots of windows, as you've probably seen in some of my videos, and so lots of heat in that room today. So instead I am downstairs in my recliner, and I've just set up my contraption to hold my phone to record, and the AC is on in here, and it's one of those window ACs because we don't have central air. Just removing the dog hair from my piece here. So it's kind of noisy, but I ain't turning it off because it's too damn hot. So anyhow, so here's where I got to with my butterfly page. And at the time I was super gung-ho when I started this page. In fact, I did 2 pages, which might have been a mistake. Whoops. Oh, big piece just fell off, darn it. There we go. Okay. That might have been part of what kind of derailed me, was I took on too much. I do still like both of these pages. I like the butterflies. I think they're fun. But I don't know. I got kind of stuck when I started doing the stitching on this one. It was really hard. I think because it's just too thick. There's too many layers of material, and so it was hard to do any kind of fine stitching on it, which is what I wanted to do. And then I didn't really know how to do what I wanted to, like down here, and these sides look very different, and I don't love that. These two look closer to each other. I like that. But yeah, it wasn't coming out how I wanted it to in my mind. And then I just kind of got sick of it. So I put it down, and I haven't really gone back to it. I got busy with some other fabric projects, which I'll show you, and just haven't come back to it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who did this. Maybe some of you started that book and got derailed on a different page. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you did. I'd like to know. But this is supposed to be fun. This whole project was for fun, so I'm not going to feel guilty that I stopped working on it, because if I wasn't having fun, then why bother? So I think I'll come back to it at some point. I may just stop working on the butterfly page altogether and just go to another page, because I have seen what the themes and stuff were for the next pages. I just was busy doing other stuff, so I didn't do them, but I did think they sounded fun, like the cozy cottage. I really still enjoy seeing what everybody else was doing with the themes. That was fun. I just wasn't into it myself at the time. So there it is. You know, it's okay that I stopped working on it. I'll come back to it when I feel like it. Right? You know, I did this with the Ann Brooke tag project too. I think I got about halfway through. No, I think it was more than halfway through the year of weekly tags with different sewing themes or whatever each week, and then I had other stuff going on, and so I quit working on that. I would like to go back to that too at some point, and I can, because those videos are still up, and they will be for as long as you know, her channel exists. She has said that she'll keep up the videos for people to go back and work on that stuff. So I can do that. It's okay, you know. I don't have to follow other people's schedule, and sometimes I struggle with that when I'm working on art things like this, and I don't think I should. I want to just follow my own path, and I think a lot of other people probably feel the same way. It's like they need the motivation or the sort of jump start to get going, and so they do a project like one of the Ann Brooke projects, or this Roxy's Journal of Stitchery project, and then for some reason they get stuck, or they have to spend their time on something else, you know, life interferes, and then they feel bad because they didn't finish it. And I don't think you should feel bad. I think you should just set it aside and still feel proud of what you did, you know, of the work that you did. So it's not a failure. Don't look at it like that. It's just life. Life interferes. That's how it is. So, okay. So that's my little rant soapbox thing. So now let me show you what I have been working on, because I have been doing other fabric stuff. So I started watching this channel, Piece of Pie. I think it's Joe Piece of Pie. Anyway, I'll have a link. I've talked about it before a few times, and she does these small little projects, probably like, I don't know, 6x6 average size, and it made me want to work on an even tinier canvas, and so I started doing these artist trading card size, just like little fabric landscapes. So this is a completed one. I should probably show you what I started with. Of course they're all different because I don't like doing same stuff over and over. I am making 8 of them for people in my local art group, because we usually exchange artist trading cards each month, and so I chose to do this for one of my months, and I'm late, but that's okay. People did not mind waiting when they saw what I was doing, what I was working with. So I'm gonna finish 8 of them. I've got 4 completed now. I'll keep 1 for myself. And so they're all very similar. They all have this little moon or sun, depending on what I feel like when I'm doing each one. And then sort of hills. I think there's one with mountains. Yeah, that one is definitely more like mountains and a lake, or some kind of water. But I think the rest of them are mountains. So, I mean, the rest of them are hills, sorry. So I just chose a couple of fabrics that I liked and, did very simple cutting, just kind of wavy lines, and they all look a little different. Then I pinned them on my base. What I started with was a pair of jeans, and I cut those into 2.5 by 3.5 inches rectangles, artist trading card size. And then I put a piece of felt on the back because I felt like it needed a little more structure to begin with, so added the felt and then put the hills, the landscape on, and the sun and or moon. And then the first thing I stitched was that sun, and I did that on all of them. And the fabric for that is also a quilting cotton. These are all quilting cottons, if I didn't say that, on top of the denim and felt. And I just did a blanket stitch around to attach the sun. And then I think I did this on all of them. I just stitched kind of a running stitch around, all the way around the sun. And I was going to say the suns are all different too. Some of them, I think only this one is totally yellow, because it was a fabric that had lemon shapes on it, so it was white and yellows. So it has, and it had a little green in that piece, looks like. But yeah, started with that. And then I've been doing these black outlines around, which is also a blanket stitch. So I did the yellow outline first on the sun, and then the black outline on the sun, and then on the hills. And then I did, here's one of the finished ones. So then I did these, borrows. Okay, that's enough. Calm down. Sorry, Winnie's sitting in my lap. Here's her tail. This is her spot, sitting in my lap here, so I have to kind of work around her. So what was I saying before I was barked through? I was doing the borrow stitch, just running stitch across the sky, I guess you would call that. And I used different colors. I did some blue to match the blue of the denim, but I also did, let's see if I can grab it. Sorry for bumping you. I also used this thread. It's like a rainbow colors, pastels, size 30 crochet cotton. Then I think I did some stitching on the hills. I'm trying to remember which one I finished first. It was either this, yeah, I think it was this one. So I did, you can see some little flowers here. Some French knots, just some little crosses here. Then I sewed on some sequins, and then I used some just seed beads to kind of decorate the flowers or emphasize the flowers that are already on that fabric. Oh, you want to go in your cave? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Winnie had to go in her cave, which is a big pillow in a papasan chair that is next to my recliner, and she likes to go under the big pillow, and it's like, you know, a cave in there. She really likes being in the cave under the pillow and sitting in the papasan chair. So that's her special spot. And we call it her cave. Okay, so then let's see. This, I love this. It's a tiny little yo-yo. I talked about this in my, retreat video a little bit, but I'm just trying to go in a little more depth here. I did use another seed bead in that yo-yo to decorate it, and I did some stitching there for the stem of the flower. And then I think I went back to the sun and did some different yellows and golds, so it looks very vibrant. And I guess I did do not just seed stitch here, but I did also do some of the stitches in a circle, like going around. I think it gives it a little more energy that way. It looks to me more energetic. And then the last thing was to sew the edge. And as you can probably tell, I used a lot of different threads on the edge. I've got pink in there, a yellow green, a red, a sparkly red. Let's see if I can find that, because I know I showed you guys that was from one of my hauls, my recent hauls. Okay, this is the green one, but I have a red one just like it. So I kind of used it, held it with another thread, so I wasn't just sewing this by itself. I think that's what I did. And yeah, sewed the red sparkly one into that. And I really like how it looks. I think it's really fun. And it's very colorful. It's very me, because I love color. I love lots of color. I'm not sure what this is. I just did some little crosses up there. I actually did some purple ones here too. Very light purple. It's hard to see those, but I don't know. I kind of look at this now and think, that could be birds flying across the horizon. Sure, why not? I'm saying a lot. Stop that. Okay. This is the next finished one. And I did more of a circular motion there with just one type of yellow thread. So I like that. This is a bigger yo-yo and a bigger bead too. And then I used, I think, gold sparkly thread to sort of highlight on the yo-yo. And then I used this ribbon thread that I have had for a couple of years and haven't been brave enough to use it, and I thought it worked really well for this, so I was glad I had it. And then I just did some different flowers, some little orange flowers here, and those have tiny little, can you see there? Sorry. Orange flowers, tiny little stems, some tiny little, I don't know what those are, little crosses, yeah. So they're like tiny violets or something. Again, more seed beads, and I used smaller sequins over here for a suggestion of flowers. And I did an even thicker border on this one. I think because I used more of, well, I've got this weight thread. I think this is 8 or 5. Yeah, this is 8. Okay. So I used that more on this one. And then this one I think I've used like this weight. Let's see what it says. Oh, that says 8, but oh, I know, because it's perlé, so it looks thicker. That's why. I was confused about that. I was like, how can these both be 8? Well, there you go. This is just plain thread, and then this is perlé thread. Both number 8, but you get a very different effect, right? Because this one's thicker. And I kind of wish I had left more of a room like I had on this one. I had lots of room, but like this one I really didn't have much room from the sun to the edge there, so I couldn't make a real thick border. So I think this is the third one I finished, yeah. And I did do a really different border, but this is also a different scene because it was a mountain scene. So I guess I did do 2 of the mountains. The other one I don't have done yet. So that's mountain with water and mountain with meadow, let's say. So those are supposed to be little flowers, and they're just French knots. These I did fly stitches, and then I added in the brown thread afterwards to make the tree trunks. And I think they're really cute. I like them. And then I did just the blue for the sky here across for the borrow stitch, and then I added in just little tiny stitches of some gold thread, if I can find it. Here it is, metallic polyester. Doesn't say like what weight it is, but whatever, it's just metallic thread, and it worked good to look like little stars. I think they sort of sparkle in the sky, yeah. And I put some on the moon too. We'll call that a moon in this one, in this card. So that's the third one, and I'm very happy with that. And I'm just finishing working on the fourth one. So again, it's similar but different. I did use this green ribbon thread again for a stem for a big flower. And here we've got another small yo-yo, which it didn't quite come out round, but close enough. And then it had kind of a big opening, so I did actually put a pink sequin underneath there before I put the pink bead on top. And then I thought it would be fun to use a button to make a flower, so I used this oval orange button that I've had for a while from my button stash, and then just made little loops around the outside of it and made it look like a flower. And then I made a little green stem, you can see there. And then I just did French knots for these, and I grouped them in 4s. I think this is 2 different threads. Yeah, this is red, this is more maroon sort of, or dark pink. So I grouped them so that they would look more like bigger flowers, and they sort of look like berries too. I don't know, but I like them. And I also did like 5 or 6 wraps on each one, so they're pretty thick French knots. If you look at like this one, say, those are much smaller French knots if you compare. So you can get really different effects with that same stitch, just wrapping it a different number of times. And then I made little flowers sort of over the top of flowers that are on the fabric. I use them as vague guidelines to stitch flowers on, but I just really wanted to emphasize the orange on that one. So then I did the border, which I'm not happy with yet. First I did this color, and then I did green that is similar to this fabric color, and it looked too Christmassy. So then I did a fuzzy yellow. It's like a wool thread, I think, this one, to bring out the yellow of the sun. But I'm still not happy with it. So I just started another layer, and I'm gonna do this red, which it's not that red. I don't know what color. Well, they don't have a name on it, it's just a number, but it's this red. So I'm gonna just add a layer of that around and see if I like it, and if it still doesn't look right, I'll add another layer. Because, you know, it's fun to add more layers around the edge. It makes a really nice texture. And so even if you end up covering a color that you didn't like, it still contributes to the texture of the piece, so it's still doing something. But this one, I think I only did 3. It looks like purple, blue, and green, and I really liked how those worked together, so I didn't have to do any more. And I think it looks good with just a thin border. So okay, so that's all the kind of finished and almost finished fabric cards, and then I'll just show you the other ones that are not done yet. So there's that one. I did stitch a few flowers with some variegated orange and yellow thread on that. That one I don't have anything done except the sun. This one, same thing. I did do a bunch of stitching on the sun on that one, in 2 different yellows, just to give it a little more interest and not be a flat yellow. And this one I have the most done on, I guess, because I've got the black outline. I really like the waviness of these 2 pieces of fabric on this one. I think it's really fun. Okay, so that's all of those. And then I have another thing to show you. Let me pull that out. Okay, so the next thing is that I have finally started working on embroidering the jean jackets that I have. Now I started with the one that I'm keeping for myself so I can experiment on it and sort of have a record of my experiments. So what I started with on this one was this panel that's above the right pocket on the right side of the front. And I actually used one of my paper punches that I got from Make and Mend. And it has these 2 different size stars. So I just punched out a couple of those stars, and then I used one of my fabric pens, fabric markers that will go away with, I think it's with heat. It's either heat or a little water, but those lines will go away when I want them to. So I started with this one, and I started with doing an outline with stem stitch. I did a stem stitch, and then I filled it in, and I picked out several different variegated threads. Now this one is this thread, so this is a DMC 6-strand thread. I think this number is right. Anyway, it's a variegated yellow. And I used 3 strands, and I went all the way across. So I did really long stitches. And after doing that, I decided that the stitches are kind of long. I don't like how long they are. They look fragile. I'm afraid something will catch on them. So the next one, I'm going to do shorter stitches. So I'll just take like 2 or 3 stitches to get all the way across this width of the star. And I am doing sort of a progression of yellow to red. I don't know where those are right now, but yeah, that's my plan so far, is to do these stars. And then I think I will, after I do these, I've already figured out one thing I want to do differently from the first one I did. So hopefully after I do 4 of them, I'll be an expert on how to do these stars. And then I can sew them on a jacket that I actually want to sell. So that is what I have been working on as far as fabric. I have not been doing much with paper, sadly. I mean, I only say sadly because I feel a little sad that I haven't worked on paper in a while. I've been spending a lot of time on this eBay reselling thing and trying to find a balance of how much time to spend on that and and then how much time to still give myself to work on these things. You know, I find the reselling interesting. I love doing research. I'm a perpetual student, so that's fun for me, but I don't want to get sucked into just doing business, because that is just not me. I tried to do that when I sold Usborne books, and I found out that I'm just not a business person. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it somewhere between a hobby and a full-time job, because I don't want to do it full-time, but I would like to make some money doing it. And you know, it's going pretty well so far. I am selling not stuff every day, but I'd say like every few days I sell something, and that's enough for right now, I think. And I have shopped at garage sales and thrift stores and gotten donations from people, so that I have enough probably to last me, I'm gonna guess, several months. If I did not buy anything else, I would be fine. But it's hard because I feel like I should stock up for winter. You know, right now it's garage sale season, and so that's a short season here in Minnesota. So I want to have enough stuff to sell through the winter months when there will be no garage sales. But you know, I shouldn't worry, because there will be estate sales, there will be indoor sales, there will be online auctions. I'm sure I can source more stuff, so I probably don't need to worry about it. And we have a lot of stuff right now. I really don't want any more in my house, actually. That's the truth. I just want to be less cluttered. I mean, I'm trying to sell some of my own stuff to get rid of my clutter. And then here I've brought in all this other stuff. Oh, it's a challenge trying to find that balance. So that's what I've been up to. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope maybe this gave you some ideas, and I hope you get some crafting time this week. So I will see you again soon. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.